It's that time of the year when most of us may be taken for a ride at the shops. With Black Friday fast approaching, you will see what might seem like mind-blowing specials, yet they're just normal everyday prices. Let's look at how to avoid falling prey to false bargains with Quinton Ramohlabi, who's a quality assurer at National Debt Advisors. Quinton, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Now, with the financial challenges highlighted, especially in the McKinsey Global Consumer Sentiment Survey, how crucial is it for South Africans to be aware of the hidden traps in Black Friday deals?
Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me. Yes, with the latest statistics that has been released, it shows that a lot of South Africans consumers are facing difficulties in terms of managing their finances. So now we're coming across Black Friday, which most consumers would like to going to spend towards goods or towards things that they never planned to maybe spend for or to. So now it is at the stage whereby people need to be absolutely very careful in terms of how they utilize their spending or maybe their funds in general, because Black Friday is something that it triggers a lot of consumers, more specifically financially. So they need to be very careful before they can overspend towards unplanned things.
Quinton, I want us to zoom into the pressure to make quick decisions during Black Friday, which also leads to impulse buying. From your perspective, how can consumers balance the urgency of limited time deals with making informed purchasing decisions?
Well, I will advise as an individual, you will have to sit, because people, they do have different financial situation. So knowing yourself, knowing how much you spend on a monthly basis, that should be the tool that you basically carry throughout this Black Friday. By that, I mean that you will have to sit down, of course, draw the budget and, of course, stick to it. Not to become an impulsive spender, because that is definitely going to affect an individual financially in a long period of time. So I'll advise, if you see that you want something or you're looking towards to this Black Friday, make a comprehensive list whereby you will sit down, list all the things that maybe you want in your long-term needs. So when this Black Friday comes, and then you know exactly that what are the things that you wanted to purchase, not to go there and buy things that were not in budget or things that you did not plan to buy, because that is going to affect you financially.
There's another interesting phenomena, and I'm talking about this tactic of marking up prices before Black Friday to also enhance discounts. I mean, it seems quite insightful. How can individuals effectively navigate this marketing strategy and also ensure they are getting genuine value during the shopping frenzy?
Well, as an individual, I also encourage people to have a budget, of course, stick to it, because that is going to assist the consumer not to spend impulsively. Like, for instance, I mean, like, you know yourself that on a monthly basis you used to draw the budget and your expenses, you list all of them, and you basically list everything that you need to buy and the price of it. So don't get very triggered by the credit providers, because what they do, the store accounts or shops, they do, like, for instance, if a goods it's worth maybe 100 rand. So what they normally do before the Black Friday, they increase prices. Now you suddenly find out that the goods has increased by maybe plus 50% of the actual amount, which basically it can be 150. So during this course of Black Friday, what they do, they normally come and, of course, reduce 30% out of the 50 that they have increased on top of the actual amount that for the goods. So basically it will be there by 120, and the consumers will be like, no, basically this is a huge special for Black Friday. I need to go and purchase this, not being aware that this item or goods, there are still increased prices. It's just that they're using a great technique. So they will have to stick to their budget, compare prices before the Black Friday takes place.
Very, very sneaky. Now, a number of retail analysts also mention this emotional tug of war between having FOMO and buyer's remorse during Black Friday. How can consumers then strike a balance between enjoying the discounts and also staying aligned with their planned purchases?
Well, firstly, I will have to advise an individual, of course, to maybe create a comprehensive list whereby you know yourself, okay, on a monthly basis, these are your expenses and they're worth this amount. And then when you go during this Black Friday season, you just go according to your affordability and the prices that you normally, you basically compare prices that you used to experience before the Black Friday compared to the Black Friday. That's where basically you will have to see if maybe the value of the goods it's worth Black Friday, or is it the biggest saving for you to purchase an item. So secondly, you will have to basically secure your online purchase, because most of the people, what they do, and they're not aware of this tip, which is very important. When you go online and purchase something, most of the time the credit providers, what they do, or maybe there's people who sell goods, they normally don't give or maybe encourage a lot of consumers to go online and purchase goods, because that's where basically a lot of percentage of discounts they tend to offer people who normally utilizing the online buying, because they know exactly that people, they are not aware in terms of when maybe you purchase something online you get additional discount. So it's very important for an individual to start looking around before the Black Friday when you see something or some special, and sometimes if you buy that item that is still on special, they give you extra percentage for just buying online. So that is very important also for an individual to have a look at those kind of aspects. So the last, which is very important, is to budget. So what basically we came across that a lot of people, they are not budgeting. They are just spending like recklessly in a way that people tend to not to be able to manage their finances in general. Like for instance, what we recently ascertained at National Debt Advisors, we came across that most of the South Africa's consumers who are going through financial difficulties, they're utilizing their credit cards to make daily basis purchases, or during Black Friday they max the amount. So basically that is affecting them in general in a long term, because there's hidden costs that accumulate over a certain period of time. So people need to make sure that they budget and stick to it, because that is going to help them in the future to avoid being over-indebted.
Quinton, as we wrap up, I want to expand on some of the last points that you're making. And also as a quality assurer, what are some of the common financial pitfalls that you've observed in individuals who are succumbing to Black Friday splurges, especially when relying on credit for purchases?
Well, what we recently ascertained as the organization, we came across the statistics that the numbers of people who are utilizing the credit cards is increasing on a monthly basis. Most especially when we have to compare the statistics, because what the organization does, they go through the monthly statistics and then compare how many people basically using their credit cards to survive or to make daily purchases, to put it that way. So it increased significantly in such a way that it basically give us a full idea, or maybe an insight of maybe people that are still relying on utilizing their credit cards in terms of making or purchasing anything, because they are unable to afford to pay their debts. So as the quality assurer for National Debt Advisors, I would really encourage people to do not utilize their credit cards for daily purchases. Maybe it can be something that can be used maybe if you want to make a bigger purchases, like for instance a vehicle, or maybe something else that is very, very valuable, that is going to benefit you in future, like maybe that could maybe run an income, generating income for you, so that at least you know when you're paying towards the interest rates, you know it's something also that you're gaining on the other side. So that is what my advice that I can give to people outside there.
Thank you very much. That was Quinton Ramohlabi for shedding light on the intricate aspects of Black Friday and also the potential pitfalls that consumers may face.